What happens to your legs and kidneys when you eat these healthy foods after 6 p.m.? Did you know that over 37 million Americans are silently living with chronic kidney disease? And most of them have absolutely no idea? That's nearly 1 in 7 adults. What's even more shocking? Some of the foods we proudly serve on our dinner plates, the ones we've always believed to be healthy, could actually be the silent saboteurs, especially when consumed in the evening. Imagine this. You're trying to eat clean, piling your plate with spinach, bananas, or maybe some roasted potatoes. But instead of helping your body, these so-called superfoods might be overwhelming your kidneys, making your legs feel heavy, disrupting your sleep, and quietly putting your long-term health at risk. Have you ever laid in bed at night and noticed your legs felt unusually swollen or heavy, almost like you were dragging weights around your ankles? Or maybe you've woken up with mysterious puffiness in your feet or ankles that seem to come out of nowhere. Many dismiss this as aging, fatigue, or a long day at work. But kidney specialists warn that these symptoms could be your body's way of sounding an early alarm. And guess what? The cause could be hiding in your dinner routine. According to Dr. Joseph Vasilotti, Chief Medical Officer at the National Kidney Foundation, kidney disease is often called a silent killer because symptoms don't appear until significant damage has already occurred. That means the very food decisions you make tonight could have a long-term impact, and you wouldn't even know it until it's too late. Even scarier, some of the biggest offenders are foods your own doctor may not warn you about because they're considered healthy, in moderation, and at the right time of day. In this video, we're peeling back the curtain on a list of surprising foods, including popular vegetables and fruits like tomatoes, spinach, bananas, and potatoes, that may seem harmless or even beneficial during the day, but can trigger inflammation, fluid retention, and kidney strain when eaten after 6 p.m. Real patients have reported persistent nighttime leg cramps, disrupted sleep, and ongoing fatigue, and only discovered the root cause after changing when and how they ate these nutritious foods. So before we go any further, do yourself and your kidneys a quick favor. Hit that like button, share this video with anyone you care about, and subscribe for more eye-opening health content that could change the way you live. And tell us in the comments, have you ever felt unexplained leg discomfort or swelling at night? Your experience might help someone else make a life-changing connection. Now buckle in, because what we're about to uncover may surprise you, frustrate you, and possibly even contradict what you thought you knew about healthy eating. Tomatoes, the acidic time bomb. After sunset. At first glance, tomatoes seem like a nutritional powerhouse, bursting with vitamin C, potassium, folate, and lycopene, a potent antioxidant often linked to reduced cancer risk and better heart health. But here's the paradox. While tomatoes do wonders for your health in general, consuming them in the evening, especially after 6 p.m., could be quietly harming your body, particularly your kidneys, your digestion, and even your sleep cycle. Let's break it down, because this isn't just about one fruit. It's about how timing, age, and organ function intersect with what's on your plate. 1. Potassium overload. A risk you can't see. Coming tomatoes are high in potassium, which is essential for nerve signals, muscle function, and heart rhythm. But as we age, particularly past 60, the kidneys lose their ability to filter potassium efficiently, especially in the late evening when renal filtration naturally slows down. That leftover potassium in your bloodstream isn't just sitting there. It's actively disrupting nerve transmission, leading to symptoms like tingling, numbness, leg cramps, or worse, irregular heart rhythms. Dr. Anil Kumar, a nephrologist from the Cleveland Clinic, warns, older adults with borderline kidney function should be especially cautious with potassium-rich foods in the evening. Even moderately elevated potassium can go unnoticed until serious complications occur. In some clinical cases, elderly patients with no diagnosed kidney disease still experience nocturnal muscle spasms and heart palpitations, simply because they were unknowingly overloading their bodies with potassium-rich dinners, many of which included tomatoes, sweet potatoes, or beans. 2. Fluid retention and night swelling, the hidden tomato trap. Tomatoes are naturally high in water content, which sounds great for hydration, until you pair them with salt-laden sauces like marinara, pizza toppings, or ketchup-rich dinners. The sodium-potassium-water triangle becomes dangerous. When you consume tomatoes in the evening, especially cooked or seasoned with salt, the combination can trigger water retention, swelling in the feet and ankles, and nighttime bloating. That puffiness in your feet when you wake up, that tightness in your socks before bed, tomatoes could be playing a bigger role than you think. Real-life story. My grandmother, who lived a health-conscious lifestyle, had tomato soup almost every night before bed. Over time, she began experiencing nightly swelling in her ankles and feet. Doctors initially chalked it up to aging or circulation issues, but when we eliminated tomatoes from her dinner and replaced them with lighter alternatives like steamed veggies and lentils, her symptoms almost completely vanished within a month. It wasn't magic, it was food timing science at work. 3. Acid reflux and silent sleep damage. One of the most commonly overlooked side effects of eating tomatoes at night is acid reflux. Tomatoes are highly acidic, and consuming them too close to bedtime increases the risk of gastroesophageal reflux disease, GERD, especially when you lie down after dinner. Nighttime reflux isn't just uncomfortable, it's more dangerous than daytime reflux. While you're asleep, your body doesn't produce enough saliva to neutralize stomach acid, and gravity no longer helps keep acid where it belongs. This means stomach acid can stay in your esophagus longer, leading to silent damage that might not be felt until years later. Studies from the American Gastroenterological Association show that chronic nighttime acid reflux can contribute to esophageal inflammation, erosion of tooth enamel, and even elevated risk of esophageal cancer. And one of the biggest dietary triggers? You guessed it, tomatoes, especially when combined with spicy, oily, or fatty foods at dinner. Expert evaluation Dr. Lisa Ganju, a gastroenterologist at NYU Langone Health, comments, tomatoes are among the most common acidic foods that trigger nighttime heartburn and reflux. People often underestimate how even a small serving of tomato-based sauce with dinner can disrupt their sleep and damage their esophagus over time. Practical tip: don't ditch tomatoes, just retime them. Tomatoes aren't evil, they're just mistreated by timing. If you love tomatoes and want to benefit from their powerful antioxidants, the best time to consume them is before 3 p.m., ideally at lunch or as part of a light afternoon snack. Pair them with whole grains or leafy greens to balance the acidity, and avoid adding extra salt or spicy seasonings in the evening. Also, keep a food journal. If you regularly experience bloating, cramps, swelling, or acid reflux after dinner, try removing tomatoes from your evening meals for 2 weeks and observe the changes. You may be surprised. Potatoes, comfort food with a hidden price. Let's be honest, potatoes are the ultimate comfort food. Whether it's golden French fries, creamy mashed potatoes, or a crispy baked potato smothered in cheese and sour cream, it's hard to resist them, especially after a long, exhausting day. But if you're in the habit of indulging in potatoes during dinner, or as a late-night snack, especially if you're over 50, you might be paying a steep and silent price when the lights go out. Let's dig deeper into what makes potatoes problematic at night, and why they might be quietly sabotaging your kidneys, metabolism, and sleep. 1. Starch overload equals blood sugar. Roller coaster potatoes, particularly white potatoes, are very high in starchy carbohydrates. When eaten, especially in large portions and without much fiber or protein to slow digestion, these starches break down rapidly into glucose, sugar, causing a sharp rise in blood sugar levels. Now, here's the issue. When you spike your blood sugar close to bedtime, your body reacts by releasing insulin to bring those levels back down. This is followed by a rebound crash in the middle of the night, often around 2 to 3 a.m., leading to restless sleep, cold sweats, or even muscle cramps due to fluctuating electrolytes. This blood sugar roller coaster is especially dangerous for diabetics or pre-diabetics who may already have impaired glucose tolerance. But even for healthy individuals, late-night spikes can wreak havoc on hormonal balance, interfere with melatonin production, and trigger cortisol surges that jolt you awake just when your body needs rest most. Case: Example: a 62-year-old man with type 2 diabetes was suffering from nightly leg cramps and frequent awakenings. His evening routine included mashed potatoes almost every night. After working with a dietitian and shifting his carbs to earlier meals, not only did his sleep quality improve, but his blood sugar stabilized significantly. All within 2 weeks. 2. High potassium. Again? Yes, and it's worse at night. Just like tomatoes, potatoes are rich in potassium, a mineral that helps regulate muscle contractions and fluid balance. But again, the timing matters. Your kidneys are less efficient at processing excess potassium in the evening, especially in older adults or those with even mild kidney impairment. The problem? Excess potassium that lingers in your bloodstream at night can interfere with nerve function, leading to tingling or numbness in the legs, muscle twitching or cramps, irregular heartbeats during sleep. And here's something more alarming. According to a study published in the American Journal of Kidney Diseases, patients who consumed high potassium meals in the evening showed elevated nighttime blood pressure, decreased glomerular filtration rate, GFR, and increased urinary protein excretion, all indicators of declining kidney function. Even if you don't have diagnosed kidney disease, this repeated nighttime stress could gradually wear down your kidney resilience, leading to long-term complications you may not feel until it's too late. 3. The salt and fat trap. The deadly trio. Let's be real, when most people eat potatoes at night, they're not just boiling them and calling it a day. It's usually loaded mashed potatoes with butter and cream, cheesy fries, hash browns, or baked potatoes with sour cream and bacon bits. These dishes combine 3 dangerous ingredients. Excess sodium promotes water retention, elevates blood pressure, and overworks the kidneys. Saturated fat increases inflammation and cholesterol, making it harder for kidneys to filter blood. Refined carbs spike insulin and cause fat storage, especially visceral fat around your organs. Dr. Melissa Young, a functional medicine specialist from the Cleveland Clinic, states, "The combination of saturated fat, sodium, and high glycemic carbs like white potatoes, especially at dinner, is a perfect storm for metabolic dysfunction and long-term kidney stress." She adds that people often misjudge potato-based meals as vegetable dishes, when in reality they're more akin to processed fast food, particularly when prepared in oil or covered in cheese. Better alternatives and smarter timing. You don't need to banish potatoes from your diet completely, but timing, preparation, and portion control are key. Here's how to make smarter choices. Eat potatoes earlier in the day, ideally at lunch or as a mid-afternoon snack. Choose sweet potatoes over white potatoes. They have a lower glycemic index and provide more fiber, vitamin A, and antioxidants. Bake or steam them instead of frying. Add flavor with herbs, olive oil, or lemon juice instead of butter, cheese, or salt. Combine with lean protein and non-starchy vegetables to slow digestion and prevent blood sugar spikes. And if you're noticing symptoms like swollen feet, night cramps, or restless sleep, it might be time to reassess your dinner plate. A simple change in your evening carbs could give your kidneys the break they desperately need. If this surprised you, tap like and comment your favorite potato dish. And let us know if you've ever felt bloated or crampy after a starchy dinner. Your story could help someone else make a life-changing shift. Spinach, the superfood that might not be so super at night. We've all heard it before. Eat your greens. And when it comes to greens, spinach sits proudly at the top of the nutritional hierarchy. It's loaded with iron, magnesium, vitamin K, folate, and antioxidants. No wonder it's a favorite among fitness buffs and health-conscious eaters. But here's a twist most people miss. Eating spinach at night might be doing you more harm than good, especially if you're over 50 or dealing with kidney-related issues. Let's break down the darker side of this so-called superfood and why the timing of when you eat it matters more than you think. 1. High in oxalates, silent muscle disruptor. Spinach is one of the highest oxalate-containing vegetables. Oxalates are naturally occurring compounds that bind with minerals, especially calcium, in your digestive tract, creating calcium oxalate. This compound is not easily absorbed and is often excreted through the kidneys. But here's the kicker. When oxalates deplete your body's available calcium, it can interfere with muscle contraction and nerve function, leading to leg cramps, restless legs, tingling sensations in feet and hands. These symptoms often show up at night when your body is in a state of muscle recovery and relies on steady calcium levels for smooth nerve muscle signaling. It's no coincidence that many people who experience unexplained nocturnal cramps or twitching have diets high in oxalate-rich foods, and spinach is usually the top culprit. Expert insight. According to Dr. Karen Holbrook, a functional nutritionist based in Boston, oxalates are often overlooked in standard diets, but they can become a significant issue for those prone to muscle cramping or mineral imbalances, especially at night when the body's more sensitive to deficiencies. 2. Kidney stone risk, especially for the over 40 crowd. If you've ever had a kidney stone, you know the pain is unforgettable. Spinach, despite its nutritional halo, is a major dietary contributor to calcium oxalate kidney stones. The problem becomes more pronounced at night because your kidneys are under a reduced filtration rate during sleep, which means oxalates can accumulate more easily, especially if you're dehydrated. Research from the Clinical Journal of the American Society of Nephrology reveals that timing oxalate-rich foods earlier in the day allows the body to process and excrete them more efficiently due to better hydration and higher renal activity. Eating them at night, however, raises the risk of oxalate buildup, which can crystallize and form stones over time. Real-life case. A 55-year-old woman in Arizona had 3 separate episodes of kidney stones over 2 years. She followed a clean diet, heavy in green smoothies, with raw spinach as the main ingredient, taken as a dinner replacement. After being advised by her urologist to reduce oxalate intake in the evenings and switch to lower oxalate greens like arugula and zucchini, her kidney markers stabilized and she hasn't had a stone since. 3. Potassium punch. Stronger than a banana. Here it is again, potassium. Just 1 cup of cooked spinach delivers over 800 milligrams of potassium, even more than a medium banana. While potassium is essential for maintaining heart rhythm, nerve function, and fluid balance, too much at night can overburden the kidneys, especially for older adults or individuals with even mildly reduced kidney function. Late-night potassium overload can result in elevated nighttime blood pressure, irregular heartbeat, water retention, sleep disturbances due to overactive kidneys. Dr. Sandra Moore, a registered dietitian specializing in renal nutrition, explains, "For healthy individuals, spinach is a powerhouse. But for those with borderline kidney function, which includes a huge portion of adults over 60, oxalates and potassium become silent threats. And yes, when you eat them matters. Evening consumption is when your kidneys are least able to process the excess. The better way to eat spinach, without giving it up. Spinach doesn't have to be the villain, but if you want to enjoy its benefits without the side effects, here's what the experts recommend. 1. Steam it instead of eating it raw. Steaming spinach reduces oxalate content by up to 40%, making calcium more available to the body and lowering the risk of stone formation and muscle cramping. Plus, cooking it enhances the bioavailability of lutein and beta-carotene, making it more nutritious overall. 2. Eat it at lunch, not dinner. Enjoy your spinach in a salad or stir-fry before 3 p.m. This gives your kidneys time to filter oxalates and potassium throughout the day. 3. Pair it with calcium-rich foods. Pairing spinach with a calcium source, like tofu, sesame seeds, or a small amount of dairy, can bind oxalates in the gut and prevent their absorption, reducing kidney stone risk. 4. Rotate your greens. Instead of relying solely on spinach, mix in low oxalate greens like kale, arugula, bok choy, or collard greens, especially for dinner. These provide many of the same nutrients without the kidney burden. Personal reflection: I used to include spinach in my evening meals almost daily, in stir-fries, soups, and even smoothies. But I started experiencing frequent leg cramps, and at first I thought it was dehydration or electrolyte imbalance. After tracking my meals and speaking with a nutritionist, I made the switch to kale at lunch and the difference was almost immediate. Deeper sleep, fewer cramps, and more stable energy throughout the next day. Did this one catch you off guard? Then like, share, and subscribe for more science-backed food timing tips. And if spinach is or was a dinner staple for you, comment spinach below. Your experience might help someone else rethink their plate. Bananas, the dessert that could be draining your energy. They're sweet, convenient, and packed with nutrients. For decades, bananas have been promoted as the ultimate good carb snack. But here's something the wellness world rarely talks about. Eating bananas at night might silently be sabotaging your energy, circulation, and even your sleep, especially if you're over 50 or dealing with blood sugar or kidney concerns. Let's break down what's really happening inside your body when you grab a banana before bed, and why it might be smarter to save it for earlier in the day. 1. Potassium overload at night. Trouble for aging kidneys. Bananas are famously rich in potassium, about 420 milligrams per medium banana. That's a good thing in the morning when your body is active and your kidneys are working at full strength to regulate electrolytes and blood pressure. But by evening, your kidney filtration rate naturally slows down. This makes it harder for your body to process large surges of potassium from late-night snacks, especially if you're over 50, pre-diabetic, or dealing with mild kidney decline, which many people are and don't realize it. Medical insight. According to Dr. Amelia Hart, a nephrologist at Seattle Kidney Institute, while potassium is crucial for heart and nerve function, we're starting to see that its timing is just as important as its quantity. Older adults, even without diagnosed kidney disease, tend to retain more potassium overnight, which can lead to subtle but chronic sleep disruption, elevated nocturnal blood pressure, and even muscle stiffness. In fact, a 2022 study by Johns Hopkins University found that elevated potassium levels after 8 p.m. were associated with increased nighttime wakefulness and fragmented REM cycles in adults over 60. 2. Too much relaxation? The tryptophan plus magnesium trap bananas also contain tryptophan, an amino acid that helps your brain produce serotonin and melatonin, both of which are tied to relaxation and sleep. Combine that with magnesium, another natural muscle relaxant, and you might think bananas are the perfect bedtime snack. But here's the paradox. For some people, this combo creates over-relaxation, especially in the lower extremities. Blood vessels dilate, heart rate slows, and circulation can become sluggish. Instead of peaceful rest, this can lead to heaviness or tingling in the legs, disrupted blood flow, restless leg syndrome, RLS-like symptoms, reduced oxygen delivery to muscles during REM sleep. Case report: in a clinical observation conducted by the National Sleep Foundation, subjects who consumed a banana within 1 hour before bed reported higher incidence of dead leg sensation and more frequent nighttime awakenings due to limb discomfort, especially among those with low nighttime blood pressure or mild anemia. Dr. Evelyn Santos, a sleep medicine specialist, explains, for sensitive individuals, bananas can produce the opposite of relaxation. It's not that they cause insomnia, but they induce a state of muscular over-relaxation that mimics circulatory issues. That's not ideal when your body is trying to repair tissue and restore balance. 3. Sugar spikes and sleep disruption. The hidden cycle. Even though bananas contain natural sugar, that doesn't mean your body reacts any differently than it would to other carbs. A medium banana contains 14 grams of sugar and 27 grams of carbohydrates, which can create a moderate glycemic spike, followed by a rebound blood sugar crash during the night. This crash is especially disruptive because your body responds by releasing adrenaline and cortisol, which are wake-up hormones. So instead of gliding smoothly into deep sleep, your brain kicks into alert mode. You might not even fully wake up, but your REM sleep gets interrupted, leading to grogginess the next morning, mood swings, weakened memory consolidation, slower recovery from exercise or fatigue. Scientific Insight, the Sleep and Metabolism Journal, published a 2023 study showing that people who consume moderate to high glycemic snacks within 2 hours of sleep experience 22% more nighttime awakenings and 11% less REM sleep duration, even when the snacks were fruits. Real-life experience. The banana switch that changed a routine. One viewer, Brian from Vancouver, shared this comment on our channel. I used to eat a banana every night around 9 p.m. I thought it helped me sleep. But I kept waking up restless and tired every morning. I swapped it for a small apple with almond butter, and the difference was night and day. My sleep feels deeper, and my energy is better in the morning. His experience isn't unique. Many people have reported similar benefits when shifting high potassium, high-carb fruits like bananas to earlier in the day, ideally before noon, and choosing lower sugar, antioxidant-rich alternatives for nighttime. Smarter swaps for nighttime snacking. If you love bananas, keep them. Just move them to breakfast or mid-morning when your metabolism and kidney function are most active. For nighttime, consider these better alternatives. Berries, especially blueberries or raspberries. Low in sugar, rich in antioxidants, and won't spike your blood sugar. Apples with skin, low potassium, high fiber, and help stabilize blood sugar overnight. Walnuts or almonds, unsalted. Provide melatonin, protein, and healthy fats that support brain function and sleep. Chia pudding, high in magnesium and fiber, but doesn't overload your kidneys. Pro tip: avoid mixing bananas with dairy or peanut butter at night, as this creates a heavier glycemic load and digestion burden that further disrupts sleep. Final thought: timing greater than content. Bananas aren't bad, but at the wrong time, even healthy foods can backfire. If you're over 50 or managing blood sugar, blood pressure, or kidney health, what you eat at night matters more than ever. Bananas may be nature's dessert, but eating them before bed could be draining the very energy you're trying to recharge. If this surprised you, tap like to support smarter nighttime nutrition. Comment banana below if you've ever used bananas as a bedtime snack, or if you've noticed your sleep improve after cutting them out. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a tip that might be silently changing your health. One small change, major relief. Here's something most people never think about. Your kidneys and legs are part of the same circulatory system, a complex chain that works silently around the clock. But when one part starts to struggle, the ripple effect can be felt throughout your body, especially at night. Swollen legs, aching calves, restless sleep, morning fatigue, all of it may be traced back to just one small dietary habit: when you eat certain foods. What if we told you that by simply shifting the timing of your meals, not even changing the food itself, you could drastically reduce evening leg discomfort and improve kidney function? Let's break down why this happens and what you can do tonight to start reversing it. Timing is everything. Your body's night shift has limits. Your kidneys aren't machines. They follow a daily rhythm known as the renal circadian cycle. During the day, your kidneys are in high gear, filtering blood, balancing electrolytes, and removing waste with peak efficiency. But by evening, their workload slows dramatically. They begin preparing for overnight maintenance mode, not heavy lifting. Dr. Linda Peters, a board-certified nephrologist, explains, think of your kidneys like dishwashers. They run best when loaded properly in given time. If you shove in a heavy load of potassium, sodium, or acid-forming foods right before bed, you're essentially forcing them to work overtime while your whole system is trying to rest. This stress doesn't just stay in the kidneys. If filtration slows, fluid retention builds, which often pools in your lower legs and ankles. This causes swelling, tightness, and even nerve compression. The very things that interrupt sleep or make you wake up sore. 4 simple nighttime shifts that can transform your sleep and circulation. Let's walk through some science-backed strategies you can apply tonight. No expensive supplements, no drastic diets, just timing and technique. 1. Move high-potassium foods to earlier in the day. Instead of eating potassium-rich foods like bananas, spinach, potatoes, avocados, or oranges at dinner, try incorporating them into breakfast or lunch. Why? Your kidneys handle potassium much more efficiently when you're active, walking, working, sweating. But at night, that potassium stays in your system longer, leading to muscle over-relaxation, poor circulation, and interrupted sleep. Clinical note: A 2021 study published in Nutrients Journal found that individuals who consumed greater than 600 milligrams of potassium within 3 hours of bedtime had significantly higher rates of nocturnal leg cramps and nighttime urination compared to those who ate the same foods earlier. 2. Keep dinner light, low sodium, and low acid. A heavy, salty, or acidic meal at night can spike your blood pressure, inflammation, and acid load, which in turn puts pressure on both your kidneys and your circulatory system. This can worsen fluid retention, raise nighttime blood pressure, and strain your heart. Try this instead. Grilled fish or tofu with steamed vegetables, brown rice or quinoa with olive oil and herbs, a small baked apple with cinnamon for dessert. Stay away from processed meats, cheese-heavy dishes, takeout meals, canned soups loaded with sodium. Expert insight. Dr. Kayla Mendel, a cardiovascular nutritionist, adds, dinner should be your most peaceful meal. Think of it as setting the stage for your body's recovery. Heavy meals burden your organs, and that burden shows up in your legs, joints, and sleep quality. 3. Hydrate, but do it strategically. Dehydration stresses your kidneys, yet too much fluid at night can wake you up to use the bathroom multiple times. So what's the sweet spot? Drink an 8-ounce glass of water about 1 hour before bed, just enough to support overnight filtration and prevent muscle cramping, but early enough to avoid nocturia, nighttime urination. If your doctor has restricted your fluids due to heart or kidney issues, follow their specific advice. Real story. One viewer, Maria, 62, shared, I was getting up 3 to 4 times a night to pee. I started shifting most of my fluids to the afternoon and only sipping a small glass at night. Within a week, I was sleeping through the night again, and my ankles weren't as puffy in the morning. Elevate your legs for 15 minutes before bed. This is one of the simplest yet most effective changes. By propping your legs up on a pillow or wall for 10 to 15 minutes, you allow gravity to assist your circulation, reducing fluid buildup and pressure in your legs. Not only does this ease the burden on your heart and kidneys, but it also improves venous return, helping prevent that dreaded heavy leg sensation that ruins sleep. Pro tip, combine this with deep belly breathing or a short meditation to calm your nervous system and prepare your body for deep rest. Final thought, small tweaks, major payoffs. Most people think improving their kidney health or sleep requires major dietary overhauls or medications. But the truth is, your body is a timing-based system. By working with its natural rhythms, not against them, you can dramatically improve how you feel, sleep, and function. So tonight, instead of a full plate of spinach, a banana smoothie, or a salty late dinner, try making these small changes. Move potassium, heavy foods to the morning. Keep dinner clean and light, drink smart, not excessively. Elevate your legs and let gravity help you recover. You might be amazed how such simple habits can reduce swelling, improve sleep, and protect your long-term kidney and vascular health. Final thoughts. Your plate holds the power. Let's get one thing straight. Your dinner plate has more influence over your sleep, your legs, and your kidney health than most people realize. We often blame genetics, aging, or bad luck for the discomfort we feel at night. But many of those symptoms are simply the result of eating the wrong foods at the wrong time. The truth is, food is either medicine or a silent disruptor, depending not only on what you eat, but when you eat it. A seemingly harmless banana, a plate of spinach, or a salty bowl of soup can all create a domino effect that impacts your legs, circulation, kidney workload, and sleep quality. Dr. Karen Liu, a functional medicine specialist, puts it this way: your organs don't work in isolation. What you feed one system affects another. Eating with awareness of your body's natural cycles can prevent long-term problems and bring surprising short-term relief. Think long-term, feel better tonight. You don't need to cut out your favorite foods completely. This isn't about guilt or restriction. It's about honoring your body's timing. You can still enjoy bananas, spinach, or even a cozy dinner bowl of lentils, just not right before bed. What you can do is shift nutrient-heavy or high-potassium foods to earlier meals. Embrace lighter, kidney-friendly dinners. Hydrate strategically. Help your legs and kidneys recover at night instead of pushing them to perform. Because every bite after 6 p.m. is a signal, one that either tells your body to wind down and heal, or one that keeps it working overtime when it desperately needs rest. Your legs feel what your kidneys filter. If you're feeling heaviness in your legs, waking up groggy, or noticing swelling in your feet or ankles, don't assume it's just getting older. It could be your kidneys quietly asking you to give them a break. Real viewers have shared their stories with us. I used to think my sore legs were from walking too much. Turns out it was my 9 p.m. smoothie. Swapping out salty dinners for lighter bowls changed everything. I sleep better, and I wake up with energy. So yes, your plate holds the power. It's not just about nutrition. It's about flow, filtration, and recovery. And when you align your eating habits with your body's needs, you unlock a version of health you didn't even realize you were missing. Before you go, like this video if you learned something surprising today. Share it with someone over 50 who's been struggling with nighttime discomfort. Subscribe and tap for weekly tips that help you live better, not just longer. Comment below, what's one dinner food you'll now rethink after watching this? Remember, staying informed is the first step to staying empowered. And those small choices you make tonight, your legs, your kidneys, and your future self will thank you.